Well, what do you want, the good news or the bad news? Tell you what, let's start with the good news. The AFD doubled its vote share, securing nearly 21% and won 151 seats in Parliament. A party that didn't even exist at the start of the migrant crisis is now officially the second largest political entity in the country.
Wir haben ein historisches Ergebnis eingefahren. Wir waren noch nie stärker im Bund. Wir sind zweitstärkste Kraft geworden als Alternative für Deutschland und wir haben uns als Volkspartei nun fest verankert.
The Greens did worse than expected. Angela Merkel's old seat flipped big for the AFD, and the establishment left SPD had their worst election result since World War II.
It's a bitter election result for the SPD. It's also an electoral defeat.
The AFD obtaining power in Germany was never going to happen overnight. But doubling their size in a single election cycle, having come from absolutely nowhere, can't be brushed off as insignificant. It's a massive accomplishment.
Wir haben unser Wahlergebnis verdoppelt innerhalb von 3 Jahren. Es ist großartig. Dementsprechend haben wir jetzt eine strategische Plattform, auf der wir aufbauen können.
With the conservative CDU now in power, but effectively powerless because they're going to have to align with the SPD. The AFD, which thrived in opposition to Merkel, will build even more support as a result of being the only true opposition to the establishment. German Zoomers, a plurality of whom voted for the far-left Die Linke party, and this tells you all you need to know about the Die Linke party, can't decide whether to have a hissy fit over the AFD's performance.
These are the anti-AFD protesters who have been waiting here and at the stroke of 5 o'clock local time launch these air raid siren noises.
Or celebrate the fact that AFD didn't win outright despite Elon Musk's support.
Elon Musk, fick dein Mars-Projekt. Scheiß kalt und Arsch weit weg. Hab Brandenburg entdeckt. Bianchi Bikes, Future Flex.
Yay! Our economy is collapsing, we can't afford to pay our heating bills, young women across the country are afraid of going outside, and we might all be sent off to die in Ukraine. But hey, at least the party that says mean things didn't win.
Fick dein Mars.
The boomers, of course, can always be relied upon to act like lemmings and prop up the status quo, with those aged 70 and over myopically and steadfastly voting for the establishment parties yet again. German boomers solidly rejecting any immigration reform while their kids and grandkids are getting absolutely BTFO'd by migrants just goes to show how incredibly sadistic they are as a generation. Western Civ is just a boomer life support system at this point. Everything is calibrated towards ensuring the boomers are comfortable as they begin to shuffle off the mortal coil. It doesn't matter how terrible the conditions are which facilitate this, promises were made. The flip side being, of course, and I'm not trying to be morose here, it's a statistical fact, boomers make up a huge contingent of the country's voting bloc, but many of them won't be around for future elections. While the AFD's youth vote is almost double that of the establishment parties, there's plenty of white pills here. But that's not the only story. Last month, the future of energy production around the world experienced a significant shift, when Trump's declaration of a national energy emergency was designed to expedite approvals for energy infrastructure, including nuclear power. A move that might prompt other countries to pursue similar policies, especially if they're blessed with rich deposits. Right to the north of the US border in Saskatchewan, Canada, resides one of the world's most promising uranium jurisdictions, the Athabasca Basin. Canada has also recently reinforced its commitment to nuclear energy and is on track to become the world's largest uranium supplier, with uranium output expected to rise by 1/3, partly driven by surging electricity demand due to AI data centers and electric vehicles. Experts project that Canada's national uranium production could double by 2035, which brings me to today's video sponsor, Mustang Energy, ticker MECPF. Mustang Energy owns numerous projects in the Athabasca Basin and is planning on drilling in the months ahead. Mustang Energy is a pure-play uranium exploration company focused on Canada's Athabasca Basin, home to the world's largest and highest-grade uranium mines. Mustang Energy owns multiple projects strategically located near these uranium giants. The uranium market is facing a severe supply shortage, with demand vastly outpacing production, and the US relies heavily on foreign uranium, which is geopolitically risky, increasing the need for domestic and allied sources like Canada. Uranium's spot price is down 36% since its peak, meaning this is potentially a great time to conduct due diligence on Mustang Energy. Ticker symbol MECPF. Link in the description box down below. Now for the bad news, and come on, let's be honest. Germany's experiencing almost weekly terror attacks. Their crime rate is soaring. In many towns and cities, women don't feel safe walking around alone. Their economy's in a death spiral. And yet, in what was the largest election turnout since Germany's reunification, 80% of the politically active population chose not to vote for the only party that'll fix it. Not gonna lie, bit of a black pill. German election result map is basically the German migrant population map. Turns out diversity is actually a strength, if you're part of the political class who imported them all and can get them to vote against the interests of German natives. The conservative CDU has vowed to exclude the AfD from any coalition government. In the name of democracy, of course, because you can't allow the people who voted for a party that got the second highest number of democratic votes in a democratic election to enjoy, God forbid, democratic representation. Oh, no, no, no. The only way the AfD could have entered government is if the CDU reversed its firewall. The CDU joined forces with the AfD and then added the FDP or the BSW to take them over the 368-seat majority threshold. Problem being, neither the FDP or the BSW achieved the necessary 5% vote share to enter parliament. So that's not going to happen. So the almost certain outcome is that the establishment CDU will form an alliance with the establishment SPD, abandon their manifesto promises, eschew their anti-immigration stance, screw over everyone who voted for him, and basically Germany will be right back to where it started, dying on its arse. Yeah, bit of a black pill.
Ich werde mit allen in Frage kommenden politischen Parteien der demokratischen Mitte unseres Landes sprechen.
Over 10 million votes, a 21% vote share, 151 seats in parliament, yet he's got the nerve to assert that they're not part of the democratic centre. Centre-right people taking the side of the commies for the 890th time. Yes, the two parties that emerged as the biggest losers on the night, the SPD and the Greens, will likely stay in government, while the party that got more votes than both of them has absolutely no chance of entering government. Gotta love European democracy. So the SPD, which bears much responsibility for Germany's current plight, is almost certain to play a role in the next government, while AfD, which won more seats, is shut out. Whatever your view of AfD, it's no wonder so many people think democracy across the West is rigged. The only upside is that the grand establishment coalition will likely collapse in a hurry, strengthening the AfD's position going into future elections.
Aber wenn das eintritt, liebe Freunde, das, was wir möglicherweise vorausgesehen haben, dass die CDU von der AfD abschreibt und da einen Wahlbetrug begeht an den eigenen Wählern, indem man mit den Linken koaliert, dann kann ich euch sagen, die nächste Wahl wird schneller kommen, als man denkt. Und dann werden wir die CDU als stärkste Kraft überholen. Das ist unser Ziel.
But given what's happening in Germany now pretty much on a weekly basis, the hour is getting very late indeed. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website, modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.